this is your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my channel, lovelies. Today I'll be continuing a series on my channel that deals with natal chart analysis, and today I'll be doing one on the Weeknd. I'll be speaking on his personality traits, his characteristic traits based off of his chart. I'll be speaking on how a lot of his chart placements have led to a lot of his success. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video, lovelies. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then please make sure you've hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Please also make sure you hit that like button and that share button because I know you guys will like this video. And please share this video with everyone you know, whether it's your friends, your family members, your enemies, anyone who really likes this content or really loves the Weeknd. Up next, please make sure you guys are purchasing from my Gaio Beauty line. There's very great products and things that are very beneficial for you. So please make sure you take a look and purchase something that you would love. Now let's get right into the video, lovelies. So the Weeknd was born on February 16th, 1990, so this qualifies him to be an Aquarius. With this placement, he is ruled by Saturn, but he is so much of a humanitarian. People with this placement have brilliant minds, and they have the ability to think outside the box. They are very intelligent people, and they know which decisions to make. They're more than likely going to be very logical and broad-minded. They are never afraid to be the odd one out. They actually like to stick out when it comes to issues that benefit society. They're going to stand 10 toes down in regards to how they feel. And also with Aquarius, what I've realized, like today, we may not understand what they're saying, but in the future, we will see what they're saying and everything has come to fruition. They're also the types of people who are always there to help you, and they always want the best for the collective. Up next would be his moon in Scorpio. With this placement, he's someone who is very private with their feelings, but they love to seek profound connections, and they love to connect with people on a deeper level. Even though this can be a very hard placement to have moon in Scorpio and Capricorn, they are the types of people who have a lot of emotions, and they love to help people on different topics. Also with this placement, they're the types of people who are very mysterious, which is that Scorpio trait. They're very charismatic and they're very self-confident in themselves. They're very good psychologists and they're very intense. They're going to be resilient people regardless of what's thrown at them. They're going to rise up. They're very passionate when it comes to different things and they mean what they say. They're also the types of people who can be possessive of people in their lives, but they're very loving and kind people. Up next would be his lovely Mercury in Aquarius. This is another great placement. He is someone who is very much thrives differently, and they love to be different. They're very confident in their point of view that it's the correct one, and they usually do have things to back it up, but even if they don't have things to back it up, they're going to 100% feel like their point of view is correct, and usually down the line it does come correct. They're also the types of people who are going to be very logical. They are going to see what really benefits not only them but society as a whole, and they're always going to speak their mind. You're always going to communicate how they feel because they are air sign, and communication is something that they prioritize in any sort of relationship. And also with this placement, they are just great with being logical. Up next would be his Venus in Capricorn. And with this placement, they're the types of people who are practical and ambitious when it comes to relationships. They are very grounded and they're not drawn to fleeting romances, and they prefer relationships to build a foundation on, which makes sense because they're an earth sign and they love to think not only of the present but the future as well. They're also very loyal and committed when they're in relationships. And they are not going to be swayed by superficial attractions. They love very intensely and deeply. They're very goal-oriented when it comes to relationships. They want to make sure that the relationship is successful and stable. And they're maybe the types of people who are very traditional, and they will work with their partner to make sure that everything is great for them. They're very mature and they're very responsible when it comes to relationship, and they love to offer financial security. Up next would be his Mars in Capricorn, and this is a great placement to have because Mars is very great in Aries, Capricorn, and Scorpio. And they're always focusing on the long-term goals because they are also ruled by Saturn, and Saturn has a lot to do with lessons and has a lot to do with time. So they don't only look at the present, but they always look at the long term when it comes to their goals. They're the types of people, regardless of what happens, they're going to work hard to achieve success. They're going to be disciplined and they're going to do what they need to do in order for them to get the success that they want. And even though obstacles are thrown at them, or it may be a long time before they gain that success, they're going to make sure that they put everything, they're determined, and they look at the goals as something that they are going to pursue, and they are determined to accomplish every goal that they have. So this is a very great placement to have, really. Up next would be his Jupiter in Cancer. This is another great placement. Jupiter is great in Cancer, Pisces, and Sagittarius. They are all about emphasizing emotional growth, nurturing relationships, and cultivating a sense of home and security. They are going to thrive in those environments as well because Jupiter has a lot to do with luck. They are great at attracting luck and good fortune. It just comes to them even though things may come at them. Luck is something that they always pursue, whether it's a job, whether it's stability in their house life. Them and having fortune is something that they always have. They are very much going to be emotionally intelligent, and they're going to try their best to have a sense of security. And that's something that, since they're very lucky in that placement, they always have. Up next would be his Saturn in Capricorn. And this is, even though Saturn is a bit hard, this is a great placement to have because Saturn is very comfortable in Capricorn. It's very strong and it's all about being disciplined and having responsibility and structure. And this is something that he has. And honestly, this is his third Capricorn placement, so this is a lot of the vibes that he gives. He's going to work hard for his goals and focus on achieving success through persevering and hard work. He has a very strong work ethic and he is always working. And with this, they always focus on the long-term. Capricorn placements are always focusing on the long-term goals, even though in the situation they are at the moment may be very hard and difficult. But in the long term, they're always going to get what they want. They are also the types of people who will need to find balance between ambition and emotional needs, which is good. Up next would be his Uranus in Capricorn. With this placement, he tends to be all about planning for the future as much as possible, and this makes him an automatic innovator, and this is so true. I remember with his Super Bowl performance, it was very innovative and very new. And also with this placement, he is always seeking out practical solutions to challenging society issues, and he loves to change society's attitudes to different customs, traditions, and authority structures. He's very logical and orderly in regarding how he deals with matters that result in the permanent, carefully planned, but sweeping reformation and things that need to happen. So he's the types of person who's going to make sure that people are able to look at different customs and change their mind and help society structure be different. Up next would be his Neptune in Capricorn. And with this placement, he tends to focus on his way to increase his power, wealth, and influence. And this usually happens in speaking or changing things in society and things like that. Also with this, he loves to idealize work and being practical and have the ability to attain reasonable goals, and that's the entire generation that has this placement. He's also someone who is all about stressing the need to be selfless, but wanting to accomplish everything he wants to. Up next would be his Pluto in Scorpio. So he has gained this placement because he was born between the years of 1984 to 1995. So he is a millennial. This placement is someone who's always looking deeper into situations to discover what's going on behind the scenes. And with this placement, he's someone who's going to work hard to accomplish things that previous generations were too scared to face. He's also someone who's always about revolutions and movements that are into changing things in society. Also, with this placement, he is someone who is going to dig deeper into the issues that we have to society and the generations after him. They're the types of people who are going to kind of help with helping a lot of the changes that they've seen needs to change. Up next would be his North Node in Aquarius. With this placement, he will need to develop these attributes. So first one is being objective, seeing the full picture before he makes a decision, desire for friendship and being friends with people, making decisions for the group's best interests, willing to share unconventional ideas, willing to champion humanitarian causes, active participation in groups, awareness of equality, relating to others as individuals apart from their specific roles, creating win-win situations for everyone, recognizing how others are special, being unusual, learning the way of the inventor, creating and connecting with different types of people and friendships, learning to open his heart to building fulfilling relationships with those around him, and learning how to share his relationship and emotions with others. Up next would be his Chiron in Cancer. And with this placement, he tends to have the wound of neglect, physical or emotional, throughout his home and family. Maybe there was a loss of a family member or a parent early on in his life, and this had a huge impact on him emotionally. Having unstable home environment is something that may be an issue, or he may have had a lot of family secrets. So in order for him to heal this, he would need to practice self-care and nurturing himself regularly to create a sense of emotional stability and safety. Creating a supportive and nurturing home environment that feels like a sanctuary. Practicing and setting healthy boundaries in his relationships to protect his emotional well-being. And exploring his creative side and using it to express his emotions and connect with his inner child. And I believe that he's been able to use this specific way to heal himself and his career. Up next would be his Ascendant in Cancer. And with this placement, he is someone that is very sensitive to people around him. He has like a familiar aura about him, and if you're around him, you kind of feel like you know him. He's very sensitive to his surroundings, and he seems shy when he's meeting different strangers. He's very caring and sweet, and he can be withdrawn and moody, insecure, or sensitive. His need for structure and security is a priority, and that's something that Cancer placements tend to have. He does have a good listening skill, and he's someone who enjoys conversations. He enjoys comfort and possibly collecting different things that reminds him of different people or himself. Sometimes he can have insecurities, but when he is in his evolved self, that is something that he would be able to heal. Up next would be his midheaven in Aries, and this is actually one of the most successful midheavens. So Aries, Leo, and Capricorn, those are the best when it comes to midheaven. They're the types of people in their career who are very strong, assertive, and ambitious when it comes to being himself. He's also someone who's a natural leader and a pioneer. Also with this placement, he's someone who's very self-starting, and he's confident enough to know in his career that if he starts stuff for himself, that he will be successful. He's very creative when it comes to his career, and we see this with his music. He's someone who's very energetic. and he has a lot of energy. He's very fresh, and he's going to always give his opinions regarding his career. He loves to take the lead and brainstorm, and this is something that shows within his career. Thank you guys so much for watching the video today. Please let me know down below how you guys felt about the Weeknd's natal chart. Please let me know if you have any other suggestions regarding his natal chart. Please make sure you've hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. You hit that like or share button. Please also let me know who else you guys would want me to do a natal chart analysis on. And last but not least, please make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media accounts, and everything will be linked down below in the description box and on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.